Ashley's heart raced as she swiped through the dating app, her eyes fixated on the endless stream of potential matches. She was a hopeless romantic, yearning for a deep connection that had eluded her for far too long. Her desperation for love had grown into an obsession, fueled by years of rejection and loneliness. At 28, Ashley was a striking woman with piercing green eyes and long chestnut hair that cascaded over her shoulders. Her porcelain skin and delicate features belied the darkness that lurked within. She had always been too direct, too intense, pushing away potential suitors with her overwhelming desire for intimacy. As she scrolled, a profile caught her eye. A handsome man named Michael, with a warm smile and kind eyes. Without hesitation, she swiped right, her heart fluttering with anticipation. Within minutes, a match notification appeared, and Ashley wasted no time in crafting the perfect opening message. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, and Ashley found herself captivated by Michael's wit and charm. She painted a picture of herself as a caring, nurturing woman, desperate for a partner to share her life with. Michael, seemingly entranced by her words, agreed to meet for a date. As Ashley prepared for their rendezvous, a sinister plan began to take shape in her mind. She had grown weary of the constant rejection, the endless cycle of disappointment. This time, she would ensure that her love would never leave her. The date went smoothly, with Ashley expertly masking her true intentions behind a veil of charm and vulnerability. As the evening drew to a close, she slipped a potent sedative into Michael's drink, watching with bated breath as he succumbed to its effects. With a twisted sense of glee, Ashley dragged Michael's unconscious body to her car, her heart pounding with a sickening mixture of excitement and dread. She had finally found her soulmate, and she would do whatever it took to keep him by her side forever. Once inside her secluded home, a decrepit and run-down house hidden deep in the woods, Ashley meticulously prepared her tools for the gruesome ritual she had planned. With trembling hands, she laid out a sharp hunting knife, its blade gleaming in the dim light. Next, she dragged a sturdy wooden table into the center of the room, its surface stained with the remnants of past atrocities. As Ashley stripped Michael of his clothes, her eyes roamed over his muscular form with a twisted sense of reverence. She traced her fingers along the contours of his chiseled chest, imagining the feel of his skin peeled away, layer by layer. A shudder of perverse excitement coursed through her body, and she licked her lips in anticipation. Michael began to stir, the sedative wearing off, and Ashley quickly straddled him, pinning him to the table with her weight. Her eyes were alight with a manic intensity, a feral hunger burning within their depths. "Shh, my love," she cooed, pressing the blade against his cheek, drawing a thin line of crimson. "We're going to be together forever." Michael's eyes widened in terror as the realization of his predicament dawned upon him. He thrashed and struggled, but Ashley's grip was like iron, fueled by her twisted desire. With a sick sense of glee, she began her gruesome ritual, peeling away his skin with surgical precision. The knife sliced through flesh and muscle, eliciting agonized screams that echoed through the room. Ashley savored every scream, every plea for mercy, as she methodically flayed Michael alive. To her, this was the ultimate act of love, a twisted fusion of flesh and devotion. With each strip of skin that fell away, she felt a perverse sense of intimacy, as if she were peeling away the layers that separated them, exposing the raw, vulnerable core of their connection. As the final strip of skin fell away, Ashley cradled Michael's lifeless body, tears streaming down her face. She pressed her cheek against his, reveling in the warmth that still lingered, a twisted parody of a lover's embrace. She had finally found her true love, and she would cherish his sacrifice forever, preserving his skin as a macabre memento of their union. In her twisted mind, Ashley believed that by flaying her victims, she was creating an unbreakable bond, a twisted form of intimacy that transcended the physical realm. She would caress the jars containing their preserved skins, whispering endearments and promises of eternal devotion. To her, these grotesque trophies were not mere objects, but tangible representations of the love she craved, a twisted and depraved manifestation of her insatiable desire for connection. In the weeks that followed, Ashley's obsession spiraled out of control, consuming her every waking thought and driving her deeper into the depths of madness. She became a predator, prowling the streets and scouring dating apps and bars, her eyes scanning the crowd for her next victim. With a practiced ease born of twisted experience, Ashley would lure unsuspecting men into her web of depravity. Her beauty and charm were her weapons, disarming her prey with a carefully crafted facade of vulnerability and desire. She would spin tales of loneliness and heartbreak, playing the role of the damsel in distress to perfection, until her victims were ensnared in her twisted web. Once they were within her grasp, Ashley would strike with ruthless efficiency. A spiked drink, a well-timed distraction, and her victims would awaken to find themselves bound and helpless, their fate sealed by her insatiable hunger for intimacy. Each victim met the same grisly fate, their screams echoing through the secluded house in the woods. Ashley would strip them of their humanity, peeling away their skin with surgical precision, savoring every agonized cry as she methodically flayed them alive. As the final strip of skin fell away, Ashley would cradle their lifeless bodies, whispering twisted endearments and promises of eternal devotion. She would then carefully preserve their skin, meticulously cleaning and treating it before storing it in glass jars, macabre trophies of her twisted affection. To Ashley, these grotesque relics were more than mere objects. They were tangible representations of the love she craved, twisted manifestations of her insatiable desire for connection. She would caress the jars, tracing her fingers over the preserved skin, imagining the warmth and intimacy she had shared with her victims in their final moments. With each new victim, Ashley's obsession grew stronger, her grip on reality slipping further away. She became consumed by her twisted rituals, lost in a world of her own making, where love and violence intertwined in a macabre dance of depravity. One fateful night, Ashley found herself drawn to a man named David, whose charming demeanor and rugged good looks instantly captivated her. As they shared drinks and conversation at a dimly lit bar, David couldn't help but feel a sense of unease, a nagging suspicion that something wasn't quite right about this alluring woman. Despite his misgivings, David found himself entranced by Ashley's sultry gaze and the way she hung on his every word. When she suggested they continue their evening at her place, he agreed, his curiosity outweighing his better judgment. Little did David know, Ashley had already set her twisted plan in motion. As they sipped their drinks, she deftly slipped a potent sedative into his glass, watching with bated breath as he took a sip. When David began to sway, feigning the effects of the drug, Ashley's eyes gleamed with triumph. With a twisted sense of glee, she guided David's seemingly unconscious form to her car, her heart racing with anticipation. Once inside her secluded lair, Ashley wasted no time in preparing her tools, the sharp hunting knife, the sturdy table, and the collection of jars that would soon house her latest trophy. As she turned to face David, his eyes snapped open, and he lunged at her with a primal roar, catching Ashley completely off guard. The element of surprise was on his side, and he tackled her to the ground, the knife clattering across the floor. A vicious struggle ensued, with Ashley reveling in the raw, primal energy of their battle. She had never felt more alive, more connected to another human being than in this moment of violence and desperation. Her nails raked across David's face, drawing blood, as she fought with a feral intensity, fueled by her twisted desires. David's hands closed around her throat, his grip tightening with each passing second. But instead of fear, Ashley felt a twisted sense of euphoria. This was the ultimate intimacy, the ultimate connection she had craved for so long. As the world began to fade around her, she smiled, welcoming the sweet release of death with open arms. In her final moments, Ashley's mind was consumed by a perverse sense of triumph. She had found her true love at last, and even in death, she would be forever etched into David's psyche, a haunting reminder of the depths of human depravity and the insatiable hunger for connection, no matter how twisted or depraved.